Rachel, welcome to Real Estate
Thank you
No
so
Questions.
much.
Thank
Oh
you
my gosh.
for being here.
Very excited. It was very kind of you to have me, so thank you.
Gosh, I've been dying to have you. My first question for you today is, did you watch the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, hard question. Yes, I
or
did.
the Bad Bunny concert is really what I mean there.
I mean, it's really all about the halftime show.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very excited because I did pick the winning team, which I'm very happy about. I'm not, I don't follow football, but I did pick the winning team. I was very excited about it.
That's incredible.
But the halftime show was fantastic.
It was so good. What was your favorite thing about it? What did you connect with
Yeah,
the most?
I think what I really enjoyed about it was just so joyful. And I think that just the time that we're living in right now, we all really have to look very hard for moments of joy. So it was beautiful for it to just be so front and center.
Yeah.
And I loved how it just really highlighted all Americans.
Yeah.
Our entire beautiful country. I thought that was lovely. I loved that the entire show was in Spanish.
Me too.
Spanish is not my primary language. It's
but
not.
We can dance to it.
But I loved it because there's so much of our community, especially here in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, that are Spanish speakers primarily.
That's right.
And so I loved being able to have a moment where that was being so beautifully celebrated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Me too.
It was fantastic.
And something I was thinking about too, just knowing that I was filming with you in a couple days and just coming off the high of the Nito concert, was I looked into Bad Bunny a little bit more, and I didn't realize how community driven himself he is. He's got this foundation. I think it's called Good Bunny Foundation.
Yeah, I think I also heard about that.
Yeah.
Of course, I primarily followed him for the music because it's lovely and infectious.
Yeah.
But I think it's wonderful when we see artists and professionals that are utilizing their position to be able to create positive impact in our community. And so I know that that's something for myself and for my team that's very important, is that we're utilizing our position to be able to positively impact people.
That's so true, and I've got a lot of questions for you about that. But first, let's start, I think, with team evolution, leadership. You've been up to so many exciting things recently.
Yes.
You've started your own team. There's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Most agents don't make this leap. You started in real estate, from what I remember, on a large team.
Yes.
You then moved to a smaller team with a close friend, and now you're leading your own team.
Yes.
What made this the right moment to step into leadership?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't know if there's ever a perfect moment for something. I've learned that through life. It's just, there's certain moments for me that I get a feeling that this is now the right time to explore something. And I think even that's a feeling that my clients get when they start to finally explore, is purchasing something right for them. So for me, I was just getting this beautiful creative itch to want to explore something new.
Yeah.
And I had just beautiful support from my previous team leader, who's also a great friend of mine. I had wonderful support from the agent community around me, wonderful support from the vendors that I work with and my clients that I work with every day. And obviously my biggest cheerleader in the world, my husband, was just so incredibly supportive.
Shout out.
Love you. But it was just, I think it was a moment of excitement, and I wanted to follow that and see where it led. And I think it was the right decision because it's been so easy, so fulfilling, and just so rewarding up till now, which has been lovely.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that creative part of what you do really keeps you motivated to keep going each day. That's incredible. So we know that being a great agent and being a great team lead are two separate things. What skills did you have to build after becoming a team lead that you didn't need before?
Oh, great question. I think that one of the things that a skill that I really had to nurture and build in myself is I've always had a community perspective of the impact that I'm making as an agent. So my thought was always, okay, what impact am I making as an agent in my community? And so the muscle I've had to really learn to exercise becoming a team lead is, what impact as a team are we making on our community? And so it's no longer just what are the actions that I'm taking that are making a strong impact on our clients, but I have to think about the team at large. what are we doing as a team in collaboration with one another to help serve each other's clients? And what are we doing as a team to help serve our community as well? So I think just having that slightly broader perspective has definitely been a muscle that I've had to work out, because it's been very much so, I'm just focused on how am I serving my clients?
Yeah.
So now being able to say, okay, what does my team need from me to be able to have them set up for success to help build their businesses and help affect their community positively. So
I love that. Well,
yeah.
it probably forces you to constantly be evolving and
Yes.
growing, keeps you accountable, I have to imagine.
Yeah, I think that something I've learned just through years of watching good leaders and bad leaders, both together, is it's really all about asking your team the right questions. And I think being able to regularly ask, what resources do you have? What resources don't you have? And how can I create a system where you have everything you need? Because if my agents have everything they need, then we are going to positively impact our community.
Sure.
If they're running on fumes, they can't show up for our community if someone's not showing up for them.
Definitely. Yeah, that team support is definitely needed. You know this, DC, Maryland, Virginia, 3 markets, 3 different rule books, right?
Yes.
How does being licensed across DC, Maryland, and Virginia actually benefit buyers and sellers day to day?
I think it's incredibly important. I know that some agents really love that that state-specific vision.
Sure, like Virginia expert.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For myself and for my team, I've found that yes, it's incredibly important to be very local, to understand your market very well. But the very interesting thing about the geography in which we live is that DC, Maryland, and Virginia, they kind of spiral around one another.
Absolutely.
So I cross state lines probably 10 to 15 times a day.
Yep.
And if I'm doing that, my clients are doing that. And so for me, I realized, okay, if I am just licensed in one jurisdiction, I'm not actually showing up for my clients the way that they best need. Because if we're working with clients in Northwest DC, in areas like the Tacoma Park side of DC, they're also looking at the Tacoma Park side of Maryland.
That's
they're
right.
also looking at Silver Spring. If we're working with families in American University Park, they are also looking on the Chevy Chase side and in Bethesda.
Yeah.
So I can't best show up for my clients and set up a holistic search for them if I am not an expert both in Maryland and in Virginia, and same as in Virginia, Maryland, and DC, because they're going to be looking in all locations.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. It's not an easy thing for an agent to do. It's not easy to be licensed in 3 different jurisdictions. The rules are constantly changing. The laws constantly change. The forms and documents, as you know, they're constantly changing.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that we need to continue to be educated on. And so for myself and for the agents on my team, we make sure that we are dialed in on a weekly basis, that we are interacting with our brokerage, with our brokers, with title companies that we love, to make sure that we are staying up to date on all of the different changes in these jurisdictions so that we can best show up and serve our clients.
Exactly. And I mean, location is really the key word there, because if you were in a totally different part of Maryland, like maybe you're just licensed in Maryland and Delaware or something, but it's just the location of where we are in DC.
Exactly.
It's exactly what you said. I mean, you could be crossing state lines 10 different times in one day, just on like a 130-mile drive.
Yeah.
Or something.
And here's the thing, it's not for every agent.
Yeah.
It's not for every agent to be licensed in all 3 jurisdictions.
Really good
It's
you said
not.
that.
There are some agents who, based on where they are in Virginia, for example, if we're out in Loudoun County, maybe it's not as important for them to be licensed in Maryland and DC.
Yep.
But maybe it's important for them to also share licensure in West Virginia.
Totally.
So I think it's just,
Location.
where are you located? Where are the communities that you are serving, and what do they need? Because for me, the communities that I'm serving, they're exploring all 3 different states based on their where they want to send their kids to school, based on where they're commuting to work, based on where they are in their life, based on where they're wanting to retire, based on where their kids. I mean, for 1.5 million different reasons. Affordability is a huge portion of it, and so I can't help my clients best understand where they need to live if I'm not prepared to be able to help them with that.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So when a buyer or seller is choosing a real estate agent, what is something that they should be paying attention to that most people overlook?
This is very funny because a lot of people might have a different answer than me.
Yeah.
Communication. Consistent communication.
Consistent communication.
I think that communication, it's a symptom of something deeper. So I think that if someone is having clear, concise, regular communication with their clients and with the vendors that are serving their clients, that is how you are going to best operate through a real estate transaction. There is absolutely no way that you can go from start to finish in a real estate transaction if you are not regularly communicating with your client, with the listing agent, with your title company, with the lender that your clients are working with your other vendors, including cleaners, movers, all of those other things. I tell all of my clients that this is my full-time job. You already have your own full-time job. You don't have to be doing my full-time job at the same time. So if I'm not communicating to you what's happening and what we're doing, you are paying me for absolutely nothing. And so when I said that I think that communication is a symptom of something deeper, I think that deeper thing is commitment and being locked in to the actual task at hand. I'm someone who believes, and I preach this with my team constantly, that our job is in a position of service. We are serving our clients. We are serving our community. And so I do not care if we are tired and we have 3 phone calls still that have to be made. That is an action of service to our clients, and that is why our clients have hired us to do this job. So I think that if your agent is displaying clear communication, they are showing that the transaction is moving forward, it's a symptom of something deeper, which is that they are locked in to meeting your goals and your successes.
That was a slay of an answer.
Thank you.
I love everything you just said because as someone who does a lot of your clients' closings, I feel like I close a lot of your home buyers.
Yeah.
It's mostly buyers that I see you working with, and you are so attentive. I've noticed, like, when I'm explaining something to them, I can see you reading them. Like, is this making sense to them?
Yeah.
And might be moments where you might elaborate on something I've said, and it's just really signaled to me, like, Rachel's very clued in to, like, communicating, making sure they understand things, and it doesn't surprise me at all that you're taking that approach from the get-go, like from from contract to closing, but even before that. So what makes your team different from others?
Ooh, that's a fabulous question. Well, for those of you who don't know, my team consists of myself and 2 wonderful ladies, Kitane Fitzpatrick and also Emma Trombetta. And I love both of them dearly. I think some of the things that are special about our team is that for each of us, we care deeply about our community. That's something that is at the core of what we do. We care deeply about our community, and we have an understanding that our community is comprised of people with 1 million different needs, 1 million different backgrounds. And so what I love about, like, Kitane, or Kita, you'll hear me say her name, Kita, 1 million times, she speaks multiple languages. She's fluent in French, fluent in Persian. Emma also speaks French. Both of them have a very global perspective. Their families have lived in different countries. It's incredibly important. A lot of who we work with is transient. Most of our clients that we work with, they're moving here for the first time. They're relocating out of the area. We're working with diplomats, a lot of State Department, a lot of Pentagon workers. And so we're dealing with people that are coming here from somewhere else and are building home. And so being able to have both a local community perspective and a global community perspective is really important because we're better able to show up for them. Like I said before, this is a position of service. And so if we don't understand what our clients truly need, we can't best serve them. And so I think the perspective of our team and how we show up and serve is something that's uniquely special to us.
Absolutely. I love it. That's great. We were talking about the Bad Bunny performance a lot earlier, and we've touched on some community stuff, but I want to get into this a little bit more with you. You're building your business around community values. Why is community impact such a core part of how you run your business?
So what I've noticed after years of doing this is that the work that I do and the work that my fellow agents do is uniquely tied into our community impact. Both of them are uniquely tied into one another. And so what we do in a transaction affects our community, and what we help in our community affects our transactions. They both work hand in hand with one another. And so for me, in setting up my team, I wanted to make sure that we were having a dual perspective with both of those items, that we weren't just hyper-focused on the transaction, but we were also hyper-focused on how the transactions were affecting our community and how the work that we do in our community affects our transactions. So, for example, we work with, as all agents do and should, with every demographic, every gender, every socioeconomic status. We work with everyone. And that is something that's incredibly important to me. You'll hear a lot of agents that talk about price point and wanting to break into certain price points. I think that's incredibly important. So if agents are listening to this, I do think that that's important to be able to continue to build your business from that perspective. But I also think it's incredibly important, and something that I've always focused on from day one, is that my $300,000 buyers, if we're helping them, we are educating them, we are walking them through the process. My goal is that in 5 years down the road, we're helping to stack and build their portfolio so that they and their families are moving into a $700,000 portfolio purchase. We are then years from now helping them and their children be able to move into an even better position that they wanted to be in. Are they relocating out of the area? Whatever the case is. And so by starting with that hyper-focused, okay, how do we get them through the best $300,000 transaction of their life? I'm thinking about them down the road. Yeah. I'm thinking about the generations that are coming from them as well. How is this going to affect their children if they have them? How are these going to affect their friends, their family, the people that they work with? Because if we are operating in a way that's building individuals, we are building our community. If we are helping every family, every person of every gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, every human being, we are helping our entire community thrive. So that's why I totally even forgot the question. But that is just something that's incredibly important to me. That's something that's incredibly important to me. And so I think, your question, how does it tie together?
Yeah.
The transaction, it affects our community.
Yeah.
How we walk through a transaction affects our community. Because especially if we're thinking about generational wealth, that's how my role as a realtor can help people build generational wealth.
Absolutely.
My role as a realtor, it works in direct opposition to things in our country's history that systematically oppressed people and made it impossible for they and for their families to be able to build generational wealth. And so I take my role very seriously, that the work that I do with each person, it's not just helping them, it's helping the people that come after them.
Yeah.
So.
Rachel, can you share a few examples of the community initiatives your team is focused on and why you chose those specifically?
Great question. So I think there's several. that are very important to us. Obviously, as realtors, housing is something that's incredibly important to us. We've been lucky enough to be able to partner with Thrive DC. It is a nonprofit organization located in Columbia Heights, DC, that helps to serve our community in many different ways. They help people overcome food insecurity. So being able to have daily food banks for people to be able to pick up food for themselves and for their families. One of the ways that our team is showing up in collaboration with them is to be able to help some of their clients who are in dire situations be able to find housing. So being able to help people, especially who are utilizing the voucher process in DC, be able to utilize those vouchers before they expire and be able to get into safe, clean, and affordable housing. And so that's something that we're really passionate about.
Yeah.
That organization also allows us and our sellers to help positively impact our community by being able to donate furniture that people are no longer using. And so a big
great.
part of listing your home for sale is decluttering. And so what's wonderful is that instead of us taking furniture and throwing it away, or taking like even smaller furniture pieces and throwing them away, or sending them, just shipping them somewhere, we're able to have those be reused in our community and be able to not just help someone find a home, but help to hopefully be able to give them some furnishings for that property. So that's something that's very important to us. Also, as a team of women specifically, fertility is something that's incredibly important to us as individuals who I know I have gone through my own fertility journey, and being able to help support families and mothers of every background be able to have the resources that they need is something that's very important to myself and my team. And so we're hoping by the end of the year to be able to partner with a milk bank to be able to start donating money and our time to be able to make sure that little kiddos have everything that they need, that parents have everything that they need for their children. So those are two things that are very important to
those
our
are
teams.
incredible.
It's obviously like housing and making sure that families are healthy and have everything that they need.
I love it. That's incredible of you guys. For buyers and sellers who might think community work has nothing to do with real estate, why does it actually matter?
Yeah, I can see why some people would think that they're very different.
Sure.
But they're so connected. The work that I've done for years, I've seen firsthand that what I do in the transaction directly impacts my community and how my clients can show up in their community. If someone is safe, if they are housed, if they have everything that they need to be successful in life, they are going to be able to better show up for their neighbors. It's one of my core values is being able to show up for the people around me, to show up for, I believe that I am my brother's keeper, and that includes my neighbors, my community. And so if I am in a position in a support role, helping my clients get everything that they need, having their needs met, they are going to now be able to show up better for their community. And if we are showing up as neighbors to best serve our community, just imagine in a few years' time what that does for where people live.
I know.
It's incredibly impactful. So that's
I love it.
Yeah. So they're intertwined. They're the same thing.
They really are. They really are. I love it. As you know, buying a home is emotional.
Yes.
And who you work with matters way more than people realize. How do your values influence how you advocate for your clients, especially first-time home buyers or people who feel intimidated by the process?
Yeah. So some people might not know this, but my education background is in psychology. So I went to the University of Louisville, where I graduated with a psychology degree, and I minored in business communication. And a lot of people might think, how does that affect real estate?
Yeah.
I originally thought that I would be a therapist sitting in a chair, just helping talk people through their needs and how we were going to get there. But the work that I do every day as a realtor, I actually utilize so much of my training in how I communicate and show up for my clients. And that's something that I also teach the agents on my team is how do we actively listen to what our clients are saying so that we can best show up for them and support their needs. Because as we know, sometimes if someone needs something, they're not communicating exactly what they need.
Yeah.
So being able to more actively listen, fit to what they need is very, very important. The other thing that I think is unique about my approach with my clients from my psychology background is I have a deep understanding that this is an emotional process. I tell all of my clients that this is emotional and logistical.
Yeah.
I'm going to help walk you through the logistical process. We're going to put you in touch with everyone that you need, but I am also here to talk you through how you feel about something.
Yeah.
Because if you walk into a property, it can work financially, it can work location, it can work for timing, it can check off every logistical box. But how do you feel when you walk into it? Because the way that you feel when you walk into it is the way you are going to feel every time you come home.
It's so true.
And so if you feel good about it
Yeah.
and it works logistically, then amazing. Let's show up for you. Let's move forward and explore options here. But if you walk in and it doesn't feel like it's going to bring you joy, that's something that's very important for us to listen to, because it does actually affect the logistical part of things too. Because if you feel that something is off when you're walking into a space and in the future you're going to sell it, how are those people going to feel every time they walk in? If you feel that something's off about it, someone else in the future may feel that something's off about it, and you may have some issues selling the place in the future.
And it could impact things logistically down the line if you're not like emotionally invested.
Connected.
Yeah.
So I think that the way that we show up for our clients logistically is important, but I also think it's incredibly important as agents that we're asking leading questions. We're checking in every stage of the process on how are we feeling? Where's our mental health at? What are some ways that I can show up for you to help support your mental health? Did you lose an offer? Do you need me to DoorDash you food? Did settlement get delayed? Do you need me to help you find a storage unit? How can I help to de-stress your life? Because again, this is a position of service. This is not a transaction that I get through from step 1 to step 2. This is how do I best serve you and make you feel happy and supported until we get to the closing table and after.
A lot of what you just said, is something that I don't think that a lot of prospective buyers think about or think is going to be important to them. Like maybe they're just thinking, I need to work with the agent who has the most sales or the one who dominates this neighborhood because that's the neighbor. And I'm not saying those things aren't important. Of course they are. But what I love about you personally is how much you recognize that this is an emotional experience as well. And you encourage your clients to lean in and identify what those emotions are each step of the way, because they might not even know,
And most don't. When you start the process, most don't know. They've never walked through this before, a lot of people, so they don't know what to expect when they get into it. They don't know what feelings it's going to bring up.
And a lot of people might assume too that their realtor doesn't care about how they're feeling. So the fact that you're checking in, how do you feel about this place? It's almost like, oh, you care? You're not just trying to get me in, get me out.
And I think the expectation sometimes too with clients is they immediately first feel like, oh, I'm sorry for texting you, or I'm sorry I called. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not bothering me. This is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And so if it's not about the logistics and it's about, oh, I'm feeling pressured, I'm feeling stressed, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm just feeling really nervous about this.
Yeah.
I pause everything we're doing in the transaction and we have a full conversation about, okay, talk to me about when that started and where do you think that's stemming from? Because if we can understand what the real problem is, then we can help to meet your needs.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that stress comes from, I've had a really busy week at work and I haven't been able to get all my documents in a row.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Now I know how to best set up for you. I'll call the lender and say what's the due date for these documents, so that way you feel you have some breathing room.
Love.
You have a little bit of time. Sometimes it's, oh gosh, my dad has just been really hounding me about all of these different things about my real estate purchase, and I tell my clients, I'm like, let's arrange a call with your dad.
Love. Yep.
Let's arrange a group call
Let's
with your
get ahead of
dad.
this and-
Let's have him ask me anything that might be bothering him,
Absolutely.
because here's the thing, he loves you.
Yep.
That's why he's frustrated, and that's why maybe he's feeling stressed. Let's get on a group call. I can't tell you the number of group calls I have had.
I believe it.
With parents that have just been like, these are totally invalid questions. I'm just scared because my firstborn's buying a condo.
Of course.
And I'm like, it's fine. And then now the family's less stressed.
Yep.
Our mental
they probably
health
feel
is in a
better
better
after
state.
talking with you.
And if your mental health is in a better state, you're going to make better decisions.
Yeah.
And again, you are going to be a healthier member of your community.
Completely
And so,
agree.
and then once we've gotten it all solved, we get back to the transaction. So I think
right.
it's important for agents to be understanding how people feel and to not try to stifle that and push it down and say, well, you just got to get through it. I think it's important
100%.
to address it and to be kind as you're going through the process.
I couldn't agree more. Very true. So real estate is one of the biggest wealth building tools if you know how to use it. Why is financial literacy such a big focus for you? And how does that show up in how you guide your clients?
Oh, it's incredibly important. It's incredibly important.
It is.
It's so important. And I think it's because, okay, so I can speak from my own experience. I'm a woman. And so I'm a woman in my 30s. And it was incredibly normal. And I think that it's still normal now to have the perspective of, oh, setting some of these things up, that'll happen later down the road. That'll happen after marriage. I think that's just kind of sometimes, it seems like a truth that's out here. And so I meet a lot of women that are like, okay, well, is this something that I should be exploring right now? Like, I don't know about how real estate can help me build a portfolio. Am I supposed to be waiting for marriage? Is that the better way to do this? And I think it's incredible. One of the pillars of my business is empowering through education.
Yes.
And so I always want to make sure that all of my clients understand how real estate can work for you now. And how real estate can work for you in the future.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. Marriage, lovely thing. I'm married. You're welcome, Antonia. It's a lovely thing. I love being married to you. Marriage is a lovely thing.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal, I think that's wonderful. But sometimes people think we have to wait until that to start investing in ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think if people are educated on, okay, if I start building my portfolio now as a single individual, if I start investing my money now as a single individual, what am I walking into a marriage with in the future?
Yeah.
Myself and my spouse, we have a head start. Our children have a head start.
I love it.
If you want to have children. So that is something that I think is really important to me, is being able to let people know that this is possible and that they should be exploring it. Financial literacy and education, they empower us to make good decisions. The less information that we have, that's how we get stuck. That's how we can fall into oppressive tendencies. And I want every client that I work with, and I want every member of our community that I work with to feel that they are empowered to choose the life that is going to set them up for success to reach all of the goals they have. Whether those goals are travel, financial independence, being able to start saving for children that they don't even have yet. Like all of these things can be achieved if you simply have the information that helps you get there. And I mean, no one's teaching this in public school. I mean, this isn't something that's being regularly taught to people.
I know.
And so I always make sure that my clients feel safe in those beginning conversations. And I address the elephant in the room of, it's okay if you don't know anything I'm talking about right now, because our society is not built for you to already know all of this information.
Right.
I am here to teach you this information so that you can feel empowered to go use it the way that you want to. And so if you're a client that's working with me or with my team, you never have to feel stupid or that you're asking dumb questions.
That's why she's on
It's not
Real
like-
Estate No Dumb Questions.
It's
There
not
are no dumb
stupid.
questions.
You have to have more information is always better. You have to have more information, be well educated to make the empowering decisions that are going to affect your life.
Exactly. I love it. So what is the first question that you get from buyers before they even know where to start?
Oh, I don't want to waste your time. Oh my God. Every single conversation. I don't want to waste your time. I don't know. Like, we're just exploring. I'm like, okay, I know that those aren't questions, but they're kind of questions. They're kind of like.
And you know what you just said about apologizing before
Yes.
asking a question?
Because here's the thing. They're asking for permission.
Yeah.
That is the biggest question that I get, is permission to explore this. And let me tell you, I will always give you the permission to explore it, because exploring it is simply learning about the process. Every human being, I feel, should learn about how you purchase real estate. It's a life skill. It's something that's incredibly important to learn and to understand. Now, do you have to do anything with that information? Absolutely not. You do not. But it is not a waste of time for me to walk through the process of educating you on what your options are.
Yeah.
Because if you know your options, you're golden. You're going to make the
obsessed.
best decisions for yourself and for your family.
Absolutely. People wait years because they're afraid to ask this.
Yes.
How do you help someone figure out if they're actually ready to buy or if waiting makes more sense?
I think what stops a lot of people is the concept of affordability. Is this something that I can afford? And most of the time, people answer that question themselves by just saying, no, there's no way. There's no way. I can't afford it. I can't do it. That's why it's so critically important, in my opinion, that you speak with a realtor early, before, like at any point. If you're graduating college out there, go speak with a realtor who's like top in your field, like in your location, who does good business, who has great reviews, whose clients love them. Schedule an appointment and talk with them. It's incredibly important. You need to know what your options are. You need to know how you can afford to be able to purchase something. For example, we have a client that we've worked with in the past. I mean, I have a million stories like this, where they showed up to closing with $500.
That's incredible.
$500
That's
to
it.
buy a
Buy a house.
$300,000 asset. That's incredible.
Most people would probably assume that's not even possible.
Most people assume that that's not possible. It is possible. And so that's why it's incredibly important to talk with a realtor early in your adult life. And if you're not early in your adult life, call a realtor.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
You can be
matter.
80 years old. Call a realtor. Because if you understand what the process looks like, you're going to be able to walk through it well. You're going to understand what are the key features of your area, what are the key programs of your area that help make real estate affordable. There's a million options out there. If you live in DC, Maryland, Virginia, there's a million options for you on how we can make real estate investment affordable. And piggybacking off of that, do not be afraid to talk with a lender. I mean, be afraid to talk to some lenders. Some of them are crazy.
Not all lenders are created equal. Not
No,
all
they're
title
not.
companies or agents. They're all different.
So make sure when you speak with that highly reputable agent that all your friends love, that has great reviews, that knows the area well, all the things, ask them, who's your go-to lender? I'd like to be connected with them now so I can start financial planning. A lender doesn't just pre-approve you. They can help go through a pre-qualification phase with you to help you best financially plan. If you have that information, you can purchase something in the future. Doesn't mean you have to do it right now, but affordability is something that's on a lot of people's minds, and it's solvable. It's solvable,
And
especially in real estate.
It is. And what I'm hearing a lot of too, which I think people really need to hear over and over again, is it's never too early to talk to a realtor. It's never too early to talk to a lender, because the right ones are going to be a guide, not someone who's trying to just, make a quick buck and, whatever.
One thing that I will say, if it gives you some peace in feeling like, okay, I should do this. I'm a realtor. I do this every single day. I help close to 30 families a year buy or sell real estate. I speak with my lender regularly. Like mine and my husband's personal lender. I speak with him regularly about, okay, I'm tracking the investment of the home that we live in right now. If we were to do X, Y, and Z, can you tell us what sort of a house that we can afford now and a year from now? That helps us as a family financially plan. Is that lender on every one of those phone calls handing me a pre-approval letter and running my credit? No, they're not. What they're doing is they're consulting with myself, they're consulting with my family, and telling us how we can best utilize our asset as we're moving forward in the future. Do not be scared of real estate professionals. We are literally here and bred to help you plan and make the best decisions that you can.
I love it. That's great. Everyone asks, should I wait? How do you answer clients who are paralyzed by headlines and market noise?
Yeah. The way that I handle that is there are things in life we can change, and there are things in life that we cannot change. I can't change in a snap of a finger the headlines. I can't change in the snap of a finger what's going on in our federal government. I can't change snap of my finger what's going on in your finances. I can't do it. Some of the things, though, that we do have control over are what's going on in your personal life. So what I like to do is eliminate the things in the conversation that we can't change, meet the client where they are, and determine, is it the right time for you to purchase something? Because some realtors out there might think I'm nuts for saying this, but for some clients, I tell them, no, you should not be buying something right now. We're actually working with a client right now where we started working with them to purchase. It is not the right time for them to buy something right now. We found that out. She's got some personal stuff going on in her life, some medical things going on. She was scared to tell us that she didn't want to buy anymore.
Yeah.
I had one phone call with her, and at the end of the phone call, we had a portal set up for rentals. As of today, she has an accepted lease. So for the next 12 months, she is going to be in an infinitely less stressful position, which is going to help her physical health, which is going to help her mental health. And during that time, getting her into that rental just bought us all 12 months.
Absolutely.
It bought us 12 months to financially plan. It bought us 12 months for her health to get into a good spot. And this isn't about transactions. This is about serving our community.
Yeah.
And so for some people, it's the right time. For others, they could just be totally paralyzed by just
by life.
By life. They just might be like,
happening.
oh my God, what's happening? And here's the thing. For some people, it might be 1,000% the right time to buy, and they just don't believe that it is.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I help to determine that for the individual. We filter out the things that I can't change. We analyze their life and what their needs are, and then we determine, is renting something right now better, is living with a family member better, or is buying something better? None of those things is wrong. None of those things is wrong.
No, and this is why it's so important to have an agent you trust guiding you through these processes, having these conversations so that you don't feel afraid to be like,
Exactly.
you know what, I don't think I can make it work right now. And you can be there to be like, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, this, everything you just said, it buys us time and you're going to be in a better spot.
Yes.
People are scared of picking the wrong real estate agent, and for good reason, as you and I both know. What should buyers and sellers look for to know that they're hiring the right agent for them?
I think it's incredibly important to interview agents.
Love that.
We interview people all the time outside of the real estate world. We call several different doctors' offices. You talk to multiple different lawyers. Hell, I mean, people do crazy research on their kids' schools that they send their kids to.
Yeah.
You need to do the same for your realtor because,
Makes sense.
and what I think is important is being able to, you don't have to pick the first realtor that your mother's brother's best friend referred to you. You don't have to do that. Make sure that you're talking to more than one person. Set an interview time. Say, okay, I'm going to be interviewing agents for the second week of June. I'm going to use that time to interview agents. And then be picky when you're having those conversations. Ask them about the number of sales that they've done in the last calendar year. Ask them about the last several years, what they average as far as sales in the communities that you're focused on. Make sure that they're asking you the right questions. If you leave thinking, man, I really led that conversation, probably not the best person for you. But if you left with your wheels turning and thinking, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, I didn't even think about parking. Oh, I didn't even think about HOA fees. I didn't even think about whatever the case may be. that is a good sign that your agent is going to be able to give you more than what you can give yourself. Because some people think I can scroll on Zillow, I can go buy a house by myself. But there might be some blind spots that you're not aware of. And so if your agent is making you think and reevaluate what you need,
It's a good sign.
That's a really good sign, because that's going to help you through the transaction. The other thing I encourage people that are actively interviewing me, I'll be in an interview with someone and I'll say, okay, who else are you interviewing? They'll let me know. And I said, okay, wonderful. Make sure that when you go and you finish those interviews, make sure that you're asking about their stats. Just so you know, that's something that they can pull directly from the MLS. Here's transparency. Here's my stats. I've already emailed you a PDF of everything that I've done over the past year. These are my averages for the past several years. Here is a full start to finish presentation on how I'm going to walk you through this transaction. And if you don't choose me and you choose someone else, that is totally fine. You need to choose the right person for you. But there's not a lot of transparency in our industry. So I always tell people when they're going to additional interviews to ask the questions that are going to get the transparency that they need. And I also educate them on where that agent can find that information.
That's amazing.
And you can say, I would like your MLS agent report. When you go to the, and if they don't want to give it to you,
I mean, that's kind of a red flag.
you might not want to work with them.
Yeah.
The last thing. If your agent at that interview says, oh, you don't have to sign anything to start working with me. Oh, I'll just start working with you tomorrow. You don't have to sign anything. It's totally fine. Run for your life.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
You want to tell the people why?
It is a legal standard across all 50 states that if you are working with a license,
cool. That's them being shady.
Cool. That is them being the most shady.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I see it all the time. My team members are like, this is happening constantly.
That is terrifying.
So if they tell you that, run. It is a legal standard across all 50 states that if you are a buyer or a seller, that you have a written contract with your licensed agent, because it protects you.
Yes.
It protects you and it holds your agent accountable. And it says that my agent has a fiduciary duty to walk me through this process and to only represent me. It also clearly states their compensation. So you know that a week before closing, I can't say you actually owe me this much more money.
It's been clear.
It's
from
written.
the get-go.
It's set in stone. And so that's just one little tidbit. Do not work with someone who says I don't need to sign anything.
All really good tips there. Ella, I hear you have a question for Miss Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel, can you walk through what working with you looks like from first contact to closing day?
Great question. It always starts with an interview. For me, I see it truly as an interview. So I don't see it as a shoo-in that you're going to hire me. It's an interview. Step one is we sit down, we meet, and you chat with me about what you're thinking. You chat about what your goals are. I get to learn how to best show up for you and support you as your agent, because everyone's a little bit different. And so it starts with an initial interview to see if I am going to be the right fit for you. And if I'm not, I will tell you and I will refer you to someone who I think is going to be a better fit. So that's what step one looks like. And then whenever we work with our clients, I have a 10-step process that I follow with each one of our clients. And we talk through that at that initial interview so that you know okay, this is what the next however long with Rachel is going to look like. I know the process from the beginning. And so where we start is we first sign a buyer's or a listing agreement. If I'm working with a buyer, we sign a buyer's agreement. Yep. That is the first step in the process. I will not work for you if I don't know that you are protected by that agreement. So I make sure that that is on file. From there, we put you in touch with financial professionals to start financial planning. That's incredibly important. We don't go further than that until we have a clear-cut view of what your finances look like. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we're going to walk through what I like to call the fun part. We're going to look at different properties. A large portion of the work that myself and my team do is actually off market. So we are not just showing you properties that are on market. We are also showing you properties that are with the Compass Private Exclusive Program, which those are properties being prepped for the market actively with agents.
So people can't find these online.
Exactly. But then we take it a step further, where I actually reach, if we're not finding anything that you like right now in the market, totally fine. I take it a step further and go back in history and look over the past maybe 1 to 2 calendar years at sellers who maybe weren't successful at selling their home the first round. And that might be the perfect home for
wonderful.
you. So I actually reach out directly to homeowners and to their agents and say, hey, are you still open to being able to sell your home? I sell properties every single year that way. And then from there, once we find your home, we write offers and we move through that process. But when you're working with me, there's you're knowing what's happening the entire process.
Yep.
You're never in the dark. We're communicating with you every step of the way. You know what's coming next. And it's very organized. I think that really helps for people's mental health when you're going through something as stressful as a massive purchase.
Absolutely. Yep, completely agree. What is one thing that you wish buyers or sellers knew before ever reaching out to an agent?
Oh, I wish that people knew that it's not as scary as you think it is reaching out to an agent. It's really not terrifying. It's like I talked about earlier. Talk to a real estate agent as early as humanly possible.
Yes.
Like, even if, like I said, if you're graduating college and you're like moving somewhere and you're looking at rentals, please talk to a realtor.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly important. I think that some people feel very scared to engage a professional if they're not immediately ready to pull the trigger.
Sure.
Honestly, it's not realistic to just start talking to someone the minute that you're ready to pull the trigger.
Exactly.
It's not always realistic.
Right.
So I think I just want people to know, like, don't be scared to talk to someone. I have consultations weekly with people who are not ready to do something right now, but I send them on their way with the information that they need, and then they know where I am when they need to use that information.
I love it. Yeah, don't be afraid to reach out.
Don't be afraid to talk to people.
Love it. What kind of clients, I feel like I already know the answer to this question. What kind of clients do you feel you work the best with? And what can they expect when they choose your team?
Oh, I love that question. It's going to sound cheesy, but it's
okay.
It's everyone.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, everyone. I work with veterans, single veterans. I work with veterans with families. I work with single women just out of college. I work with single men just out of college. I work with members of the LGBTQ plus community. We work with everyone.
Yeah.
Gender, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, whoever you are, we are equipped to helping you reach your goals. And here's the thing, if the specific goal that you need reached, I'm not an expert in, I know experts.
Yep.
Who can help you get to where you need to go, and I'm going to refer you to them.
Exactly.
But the thing I love about my job is diversity.
Yeah.
I have a diverse clientele. It makes every day exciting. And I think that diversity is one of the most beautiful things that we have in this world.
Absolutely. What is a team as it relates to real estate, and why would an agent want to start one?
Individual agents, like myself, they're what you think they are. Whenever you think of a realtor, a, quote, solo agent is what you think of when you think of a realtor. But a team of realtors is a team of those realtors or solo agents that you naturally think of when you think of a realtor. They've come together to collaborate, to support one another, and to help support one another's clients. It's a small coalition of agents that are working together. Now, that team of agents has a team leader that helps to make sure that that team has everything that they need, helps if they have different initiatives like community impact, different things like that, but that really makes sure that they run the team. All of these agents work under a brokerage. And so I am a team leader of my own team. So I am able to help give the agents exactly what they need. And if you're trying to decide, is working with a solo agent or a team right for you, I don't think that there's a wrong answer to either. I think as you're going through that interview process, it's really going to be about the main point of contact that you have.
Yep.
It's going to be about the agent on the team that you're working with, or it's going to be the solo agent that you're working with. But ever since I first started in real estate, I've always been on a team. And what I've learned from that is that So I'm someone who truly believes that collaboration is the antithesis of stagnation.
Yeah.
If you're able to collaborate with others, if you're able to collaborate with a built-in team of agents who's there to support you, you're going to be able to show up more creatively for your clients. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to problem solve better. Your business is not going to become stagnant and your wheels are going to start turning and you're going to be like, well, I feel like I'm doing everything right. If you have built-in people that you can be collaborating with, you're going to better problem solve for your clients. You're going to better show up for them. Yeah. You're going to move your business forward, which is going to better affect your community. And obviously a solo agent can collaborate with others too, but I think that there's something uniquely special about having a built-in family of agents who is showing up for not just your success, but for the success of your clients.
Absolutely.
So I also think it's logistically important because we all get sick and sometimes you need someone who's going to step in and be able to cover a showing for you.
Yep.
And so a team structure uniquely supports the agent, but it also uniquely supports the client and sets them up for success.
I imagine it translates down to that experience that the client is having.
Correct.
Yeah, I love it. So these last sets of questions, I imagine these are questions you get every day. Mm-hmm. Feel free to be like, I never get those, but I'd be so surprised.
Never happens.
So this one, are condos a good investment?
We get this question all the time. They can be, yes. I think that you need to be picky. You need to be picky when it comes to condos.
Okay.
So there's a lot that goes into a condo purchase. You need to know that if your building is Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac approved. That's a whole can of worms we can get into another time.
Yes, it is.
You need to know where your condo fee is going every month. We need to understand what capital expenditures are being made all the time. If you notice, so far I haven't even talked about the unit itself.
Yep.
Because a lot of people ask me what even is condo ownership. And condo ownership is you own your piece of real estate, the inside of your four walls outright.
Yeah.
You own that
Outside
100%.
of that unit,
Outside of that unit, you have shared ownership interest in everything else. You have shared ownership interest in your hallways, in your lobby, in your mailroom, in the pool, everything else. So when you are assessing a condo purchase, you can't just assess the home itself. You have to assess the larger part of your investment, which is the building at large. And so I help every year many, many people buy condos. I am very picky when we go through the process with you to make sure that you're purchasing in a building where your money is being invested wisely.
Yep.
Your association is running smoothly. And if it is not a good investment, we are not proceeding because I take my job very seriously and I want to make sure that your money is protected and your livelihood's protected. So yes, condos are a very good investment, but you need to know what to look for and you need to work with an agent who works in condo buildings regularly.
That I feel is very key advice there.
Yes.
An agent who works with condos regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Another question I feel like you probably get all the time is, can I even afford to buy something?
The answer is you really honestly may be able to.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of people who show up at that first initial meeting and they're like, I'm just exploring this. I'm just getting the information.
I've done it both times I purchased.
Right.
You know?
And it's like what I talked about earlier. You want to have that exploratory conversation with a realtor, but don't be surprised if you leave that conversation with the information that says, I can actually buy something tomorrow if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
I would say about 90% of the appointments that I have end in someone leaving saying, oh my God, I can buy something tomorrow if I actually wanted to, and I didn't think that I could.
That's incredible.
There's so many programs available for people, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
So yes, you can afford real estate. It's all about timing, it's about your personal finances, and it's about who you have in your corner to set you up for success.
That's right. That's right. All right, my last question for you that I think you have to get this one all the time. Is it even a good time to buy?
Yes. I think, so this is going back to what I talked about earlier. I can't change what's happening every single day around me. I can impact my community, I can impact my clients, but there's some things in life that we can't change immediately. So the answer to is it a good time to buy is it a good time for you to buy?
That's the better question.
So, and that's what I remind my clients. I get that question constantly. Is it even a good time to buy? And I change the script every time. I'm like, is it a good time for you to buy?
I love
because
that.
for some people, it's like in the same calendar year, I can have the conversation with one person that says, now's the right time, and a week later have the same conversation with someone else and say, now's not the time.
Yeah.
And it's not because of anything else other than where are you positioned in your life, and is it the right time for you? I help my clients figure that out.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Rachel, you were amazing. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for doing this with me today. I feel like we all learned so much.
And I just wanted to thank you for letting me be on here today, because the work that you're doing with this channel, it helps to demystify this process. It's giving people permission to ask questions, because if, like we talked about, if you're not educated on what you need to do, you don't know what you need to do.
It's so true.
And so this platform is also helping to demystify the process and to help people feel confident and have the permission to ask the questions that are going to help them get to their goals. So thank you for doing this.
No, and thank you for saying that. I don't often come back to the point of the channel, and it really is to really, like you said, demystify real estate.
Yeah.
Because as you said so many times throughout our episode today, like they're not teaching this in public schools.
No.
And it's not something that you're just innately going to know unless you're trained to do so as a professional or you've done it yourself a couple times. So thank you for saying that.
Of course.
Y'all, please throw any comments. You always have questions. We're here to always answer. But you were amazing. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Ella Bean, say thank you to Rachel.
Bye, sweet pie.
She's over it.